I mean? And I felt that quote, bruh, because it was kind of like, we all in this life, you know what I mean? We're living in this world, like we don't really know what's going on, you know what I mean? But I feel like if you can have an impact and you can like inspire and change somebody, like that's the point to me. You know what I mean? Taking that chance, you know what I mean? Taking that risk. If you're like a reasonable man, always looking for like the right answer, you're never gonna jump off that cliff to see what's on the other side. You know what I mean? It's unreasonable for you. You
Right.
know, so the unreasonable man is going to take that step. You know what I mean? The unreasonable man is going to build a brand. He's going to start a podcast. Nobody may understand, but that man does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'll just make it work. So that's where my inspiration came from.
For sure, man. For sure. Yeah, man. Thanks for hopping on the podcast, Culture Convos. Just want to make sure you can hear me well and everything.
Yep, all
Uh,
good.
yeah, man. So if you can, bro, just tell us a little bit about your journey to when I met you. At least you were doing music. You were into music. I know now currently, you into content creation and a number of other things in addition to music. But at least for now, just tell us how you got into music, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, man. Basically with the music, man, in high school, middle school, you always rapping. You feel me? You always like rapping, everybody think they Wayne or Drake or something, So you're always rapping. It started in high school when we first like I started with my homie Jamal. Shouts out to the Virgo child. Um, it just started off as like a hobby, It's still a hobby, of course, like we still have a love for it. But it just started off with like little tracks that weren't good at all. But we thought it was fly, we thought it was cool, so we would make these tracks on like the oldest MacBook, what I mean? And just to hear your voice on the first time on the mic is kind of crazy, so kind of just fell in love with that. And it's a progression, I mean, you start off horrible, then you start off with like some bars and then you get better and better and better. Then one day somebody hears and then they're like, oh, is that you? Then they're like, oh, that's dope, what I mean? And then you just fall in love with the creation, so that's how I pretty much got started with music and just kept it rolling.
Okay, for sure. So were you when you started out, were you super confident, or were you just like, yo, I'm kind of doing this on the low, and I'll tell people like, when they discover it, or because like I had some homies when I first started too that were like, I wouldn't say very good, but very confident. Like, yo, I'm about to go out here and do this and do that. Whereas me, I was like super low key. I did it a lot and I did it obsessively, but like I
Yeah.
was super behind the scenes unless somebody like put me out there. I was like, yo, Dom, do music, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll play my track or whatever.
That's literally how it is, bro. Like how it is for me. I mean, the confidence grew to whereas today, like, today I'm confident. I'm like, yo, play my shit, but even then I won't force it on you. I'm kind of still low key with it.
Right.
But I've always been that low key guy, you know what I mean? Like, oh, Ron, you do music? Oh, Ron, you do that, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, I do. Like, it's kind of, I like people discovering me rather than me forcing it on other people. So I was just like you, man. I kind of need that extra push from like my homies or from my friends or family. Like, oh, hey, Ryan, your shit is dope. Or hey, listen to my homies' music. Like, it's dope. I needed that extra push. You know what I mean? The confidence definitely grew. Because even in the beginning, if you're not that good, you don't know that. Like you don't know that. But I mean, you just get used to the progress, you get used to doing things yourself, you get used to the creation, and from there working at it, working hard at it, you start growing that natural confidence in it. What I mean? To where I am now, I'm like, yo, play my music, what I mean? Like I'm very confident in it. Whereas later on I was still low key with it.
That's dope, and made me think of something else too, because like, a big lesson in a lot of that is like, understanding who you are through music and through that journey of like, all right, I'm not good, I think I'm all right, you know what I'm saying? But you're like figuring yourself out. You put it out there a little bit, you gauge the community, you come back, or you gauge whomever. You get, maybe you just learn from your own, understanding of it. But I feel
Yeah.
like, just putting in that work, putting in that effort, and just trying, going forth with it, you know what I'm saying? You can definitely like build on that. A thing that I want to kind of pivot to, I was going to ask you, like, what was a big aha moment for you? You know what I'm saying? When you like realized something. I don't know if that was like the day you learned how to record yourself, you know what I'm saying? Or if it was like, yo, this is what a hook should sound like, you know what I'm saying? Or just any moment throughout your journey where you was like, damn, I'm actually like, it's clicking for me.
Yeah. I would say, when you listen to your own music, you think it's dope. You know what I mean? Rather, you're very territorial about your music, you know what I mean, or you're very defensive sometimes, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, I will play it for like the homies, like a small circle, and wouldn't force on anybody, but I will play it, and I will peep the reactions. You know what I mean? I will peep the reactions. They will give me good feedback, like, hey, blah, blah, blah. I remember I had one song, man, and I played it. I thought it was dope. I think everything I put out is dope. you know,
Right, right.
I played it. I remember I was in a car and I played it for a friend. And when they heard it, they were kind of like, is this you?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, this is me. And then they were like, oh, turn it up. This is dope. And that's when I was like, I knew it was dope, but I think I needed that confirmation that it was like dope to somebody other than me. You know what I mean? Because like I am defensive about like the things I put out, the content I create, but I'm also aware of the criticism, or I want constructive criticism. And I take that into consideration a lot. You know what I mean? So when it's actually like, good feedback, or they actually think it's dope, I take that to heart just as much as I take the criticism to heart. You know what I mean? So that moment when they were like, oh, it's dope, it was a weird validation, where I was just like, oh yeah, I am dope. You feel me? Like I am dope at
Yes,
this.
sir.
Or it's like, I can miss 100 times, but I know that like I can produce something that the audience will like. You know what I mean? And
Right.
you yourself is an audience too. Like when Don puts out something, like you're a fan of yourself. If you don't think it's dope, then you'll think it's dope. But if you think it's dope, you should be the biggest fan of yourself as well. You
Right,
know?
right. Now that's real, man. And just from like this 5 minutes that we've been getting into it, like you brought up how like your homies and stuff in the beginning was real influential to you, even like getting it, getting into music or stepping forward in music. And then that big aha moment for you was again another homie like or someone that you rock with was saying like, yo, this is heat, turn it up. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I have a connection to that as well because we talked a little earlier off the recording about sports and shit. Like I mentioned, like my high school football team went 0-40. But one thing about that experience was like my family was in the stands at every game. You know what I'm saying? Turned up, going crazy, yelling my name, wanting me to go crazy on the field. So I
Yeah.
always felt like even though we was 0-40, like I was that nigga. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was up, and no matter what, like no matter what I wanted to do, I could do it. So when I pivoted to trying to run a business and doing the clothes and doing the events and stuff, like in my mind, I just had that same energy. Like, yo, I know my people are gonna rock with me, you know what I'm saying, and love me and support me through it. So that kind of helps us, you know what I'm saying, as we go about and do things. So I do want to ask, like, how did you? Because like me, for my early stages, it was tough for me to navigate onto music, but it was tough for me to navigate exactly like, all right, who's giving me some good advice or like feedback, like, oh, this is dope, versus, oh, this is
Yeah.
dope, like you know what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
how did you have any experiences? You don't gotta like name anything, but like any experiences where you were realizing people were like giving you that, that kind of, I don't want to call it fake love because that's a negative thing, but like kind of
Yeah.
showing you support but not really giving you the real.
Yeah, definitely. As far as like friends go, you know your friends, and you know who's gonna keep it real with you, like no matter if you want to hear it or not. And you know those friends that you go to just to get that thumbs up, like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like no matter what it is, they'll give you like a thumbs up, like, like yes man type of shit, but not really, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
So there were some times where I just played it for a friend and I just wanted to, I just wanted to hear somebody say, "Oh, you're doing good." You feel me? But are those friends that I like turn to whereas, if you listen to this, like I know I'm gonna get a real reaction, I'm gonna get a real answer, I'm gonna get a real emotion out of them. You know what I mean? I was watching a documentary, I think, of J. Cole, and he was talking about what was that song with him and Miguel? Up all night, constant singing these love songs. Remember that
Oh
song?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
he was like in the studio, like there was one homie in the studio. He never had a reaction like to any shit that J. Cole did. But J. Cole was like, once he damn near like stood up and applauded after he heard that, J. Cole
Yeah,
was like, oh shit, I got a hit on my hands.
right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that, man. Like who you can go to. And also like the outside view, like the people you don't even know, that'll just hit you up and they'll be like, oh shit, this is dope or blah blah blah. Like
Yeah.
what's your YouTube, that's a different level. That's a different type of high because it's somebody you don't even know, you don't even have no connection to, and they're just feeling your shit,
Nah,
you know.
for sure.
So that's dope as well too. And also to piggyback on that, I did like a couple shows as well, like around the Phoenix area, and I got good reactions. I just got good reactions, and it just helped me poke my chest out a little bit when I'm recording. You know,
Right.
so all of that just builds your confidence. Builds your ego, and you need that swagger. You need that edge when you're creating anything that you're going to put out into the public. Whether it's music, YouTube, your business. You know what I mean? You got to have that swagger when you walk into that office.
Yeah, nah, that's real, man. And I see it all the time, even with like the poets and stuff that come out to our shows and our events where they're like, yo, this is my first time. I'm just reading it, here it is. And they
Mhm.
realize that people like it, and then you kind of see this light bulb hit for them. Like, oh, y'all fuck with this. Like, wait till I really, wait till I
Yeah.
memorize my shit or wait till I do this, and it gives that artist something to look forward to once they see the reception that people give them and kind of makes them want to fight harder. And, oh, yeah, I'm going to come back to the next show with this, or the next time y'all see me, I'm going to have this. So it's dope. So before we get off the music tip, man, let me know some of your favorites. It don't got to be a top 5 list or anything like that, but like, who's Ron listen to? You know what I'm saying? If you're in the car and you about to roll out, like, is it something from today's hits? Or are you one of those dudes that's always throwing it back to something?
Man, like the older I get, low key, I'm expanding my music horizon. Like the older I get,
Yeah.
So now I'm starting to understand why, like, my dad and my family was playing like the Isley Brothers.
Yeah.
I might throw that on, just really vibe out.
Right.
Um, I went to a couple indie concerts, you know what I mean? Like indie alternative, like shit like that, you know what I mean? As
Yeah.
far as a rap tip, of course, Future is my guy, Lil Wayne. You can never go wrong with Drake. You feel me? You can never go
Right.
wrong with Drake. But those are the main guys. Right now I'm bumping that Kendrick
Right.
um
Super creative.
album, man, album of the year, in my opinion,
Super creative. Hell yeah.
and Pusha T.
Oh yeah. Almost dry.
And oh man, crazy. And do you know Quentin Miller?
Yeah. Hmm.
Uh,
I mean,
I,
originally for bad reasons, but like, yeah, now I
yeah,
got keep up. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
He's dope. I've been listening to him a lot. Hit Boy, Dom Kennedy, shit like that.
Okay, man, you brought up something. You brought up your pops, in the oldies, and I was just having a conversation. I forget with who exactly, but I was also talking about it with my fiance, and we were just like talking about exactly like, what I'm saying, our shit from like the 2000. Like, how old are you?
I'm 29.
20, okay, yep. So we right around the same. I'm 30. So like all of our shit from back in the day, like the early 2000s, like a lot of that's about to be considered oldies in a minute, man. Like
Right.
just the a bays, even anything like almost right before that. You know what I'm saying? Like we get into the space where some of the shit that was like, up for us is about to be considered oldies. And then what do we even call the oldies that our peoples was listening to when we was coming up?
Man, dude, I was having a conversation. I was having a conversation with my girl, and she's like she's 26, so she's at that middle where it's like, yeah, you was born in the 90s, but what do you know?
Yeah.
So it was funny. We was kind of making fun, like we was joking around, me and my homie, and we were like talking about Lil Bow Wow. And we were like, Lil Bow Wow was big at one point.
Huge.
Like he was huge at one point.
Huge.
But I don't think like the younger crowd even know like how big Bow Wow was, how big Nelly was, like
Yeah.
random like Ludacris, like like
No,
just
for sure.
random rappers that were like a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, 50 Cent. I don't think the younger generation knows how hard 50 Cent
50
came
Cent, that
out.
first one. Like he has, yeah, that first one was crazy. Just a little bit. They had all those songs,
The
Magic Stick,
massacre.
all of that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah, man, we get it, I'm knocking on dirt 30. I know you already opened the door. But like it's dude, it's kind of crazy. We are at that generation where, we old. You feel me? We old, you know what I mean? To our like moms and pops and our older relatives, they think we're still young, you feel me? So we're all just kind of transitioning. That's tells you how young hip hop is though.
No, for sure.
You know,
Yeah, for
tells you
sure.
how
Like when we could
pop
look
is.
at folks like Bow Wow, and then even it's still they look back, but then you can still count. Like what I'm saying, we can go to the KRS-One, and then you know Grandmaster Flash, and then we're at the start. You know what I'm saying, and everybody has their own little wave of like people that were huge. Like right now, you know what I'm saying, people are going to definitely look at Drake, even though we still look at Drake highly revered. Like the young kids coming up, they're just going to know that he was huge when they were born and
Yeah.
all throughout. Like you know what I'm saying.
Crazy, crazy, you know what I mean?
So how did you get into the YouTube channel, man? Like, when did you start your YouTube channel, and what was some of the inspiration behind it?
So my thing is I need to be more consistent, right? So that's a struggle I like have and that like I'm working on, right? So when I first started doing the music, I was looking for like different outlets and things like that. So I dropped like a couple videos on YouTube just to like expand the portfolio. Um and I never really took like I made a couple vlogs, things like that, but I never took the time to actually like build my YouTube channel. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm doing now. I just started a podcast as well. It's called the Unreasonable Man.
Okay.
So I'm diving into that because that's another outlet. My whole thing, man, is like I need different outlets to like have my voice be heard through like different, creative channels. And like podcast is good for me, what I mean, to get my word out to like, interview like great people, like just get different perspectives from different people and to, like talk my shit a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So with that, doing different vlogs, I'm always on YouTube. So like, I listen to podcasts like all the time. Like that's
So
all what I mean? So I was basically like, dude, like I want to do this, I might as well do it and take the time to actually do it. You
okay.
know?
So when it comes to the name, though, you said unreasonable man. What's the
Yeah,
some of
yeah,
the
yeah.
inspiration behind that, or what does that play on?
So there was this quote. Well, first I RIP Nipsey, you know what I mean? We both from LA, you know what I mean?
Sir.
Big part of the community. RIP Nip. So I used to, like I said, sometimes I just be on YouTube watching interviews of just like people or like people like Nip, Cole, Diddy, like just great people, right? So I was watching like an interview on Nipsey Hussle and he said this quote about the Unreasonable Man. And the quote is from, I don't want to get this man's name wrong. It's from George Shaw. And the quote goes, "The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man." You know what I mean? And I felt that quote, bruh, because it was kind of like, we all in this life, you know what I mean? We're living in this world, like we don't really know what's going on, you know what I mean? But I feel like if you can have an impact and you can like inspire and change somebody, like that's the point to me. You know what I mean? Taking that chance, you know what I mean? Taking that risk. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if you're like a reasonable man, always looking for like the right answer, you're never gonna jump off that cliff to see what's on the other side. You know what I mean? It's unreasonable for you. You
Right.
know, so the unreasonable man is gonna take that step. You know what I mean? The unreasonable man is gonna build a brand. He's gonna start a podcast. Nobody may understand, but that man does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'll just make it work. You know, so that's where my inspiration came from, the name. I juggled around like couple names like for like for like a months, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I stumbled upon that interview and then I was like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. It means so much too, and I feel like that's something that you could even offer up to your guests, you know what I'm saying? In what ways are you unreasonable? And then
Yeah.
do a sizzle reel of just a whole bunch of people answering that question or like giving their inputs because no, that's real, bro. When it comes to taking risks, taking those chances, or just being somebody in the community that's not afraid to like, shit, just go out there and put it on your shoulders. Like, when it
Right.
comes to this art stuff and creative spaces, it genuinely is about like how far you're willing to take it. You know what I'm saying? If you're asking for permission to create this thing, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
or if you're like being timid about it, things aren't going to come out as authentic or genuine to who you are. But like if you set yourself around support systems. So, for example, like we talked about previously, the family, the people that help boost your confidence, then you are able to just step into that and move confidently and take those risks. Like, again, my family is a huge part of the reason why, like, when I make something, like, I don't care, like, you know what I'm saying, too much about, like, what people think. Like, oh, they're going to
Yeah.
think Dom, because I wrote 10 love poems, they're going to think I'm a simp or whatever. I don't care what, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here
Yeah.
just creating for what I see it as, you know what I'm saying? And not so much as, like, what I'm expecting the world to see me as, or like I'm not trying to fit into this box. So now that's super
Yeah.
powerful, man. I think like timing is everything. So the fact that you were juggling, trying to figure out a title, and then that one came across, and it came from like, the
Yeah.
quote was from Shaw, but like the conduit to seeing that quote was Nip, and that's just an amazing piece as well.
Yeah, definitely, man. And you're right, man. Like at the end of the day, you got to be true to yourself. Like I am root, you know what I mean? That's a powerful name, you know what I mean? Like just knowing your roots, first of all, just knowing your roots and being grounded in it and just sticking, just being yourself, you know what I mean? Not caring what the outside thinks, knowing that like you're good. You know what I mean? You wrote 10 love songs, shit, I'll make it 11th one.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, just like you, man, like you just finding these different outlets and like probably just like you as well, man. Like I like a lot of shit, you know what I mean? Or like I need to like do like a lot of shit, like I need to take pictures, I need to do podcasts, I need to do music because that's just what makes me like the happiest, you know what I mean? That's where I'm
Mm-hmm.
at. That's where I'm like at my peak, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So like and you never realize it until you like stop doing it. Like for like a couple of years, like I stopped, you know what I mean? And then I was kind of like, what the hell is wrong with me? It's because I wasn't tapping into my like natural creative side. You know what I mean? So you
Yep.
just gotta keep going. You just gotta keep it going. You know what I mean?
Nah,
Get
that's
that
real.
content out.
That's real. And you mentioned something where you talk about you like doing a lot of shit, and we haven't touched on it, but um, one thing that we connected on, and I don't know if you had much experience outside of that, but ModelGibs, man.
Yeah, yeah,
You came
yeah.
through for the Velvet Room fashion show where we teamed up with my boy B and rocked some of the Iron Root gear and some of the custom pieces from Brandon.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So were you into modeling like a little bit beforehand, or what I'm saying, before that event in particular?
Yeah, man. Actually, first of all, thank you for reaching out to me and having me on the Velvet Room. That was a cool ass experience. You gotta run that back.
Hell
You
yeah, hell
know?
yeah.
But yeah, man, I actually I love photography and I like taking dope ass pictures, you know what I mean? So like even if you go to my Instagram, RonGib, bruh, you'll see like dope pictures of me or you'll see dope pictures of other people or just like landscape in general. So like with modeling, like I've done like a couple like just model like shoots, you know. Your it was crazy because when you asked me, like I had like two back-to-back gigs in a row. I think it was yours first, and then I was randomly like, I was doing like yoga, and like somebody asked me like, "Hey, would you be in my show?" And I was like, "Cool, yeah, I'm fresh off point right now. I got my walk down."
Right.
So that's something I love to do. I mean, like I'm not afraid of like, the cameras like being on me or anything, what I mean? Like I love it, what I mean? I can like thrive in those moments. So that's just some fun shit I love to do, and I'm always open to things like that. Just another way of expression. I love expression, what I mean? I love when people express themselves, like even setting up that event is just super dope to me. Like you just behind the scenes and you're just, setting up the band that was there,
All right, yeah.
just setting up everything, bro. That's like super dope to me. I'm just a fan of expression,
Right,
so,
right. Nah, for sure, man.
yeah.
I appreciate that too, bro. Like when it comes to art, man, like my main thing, like my bread and butter. I got my drum machine here, my keyboard here. It's like I make beats and I'm behind the scenes on the music thing. But like when it comes to art, I definitely love writing, like poetry, songwriting. I love curating events because that's an experience that people get to come in. Like I love doing the short film. So like in terms of like doing a lot of shit and being all over the place, I can definitely connect with that just because like again, like you get so much inspiration from the life around you. You know what I'm saying? And you want to be able to tell those stories. And not every story can be told through a beat, you know what I'm saying? Or not every story can be told through a song, you know what I'm saying? And so that's why the podcast is in place, so I can get on here and talk with people that I can't necessarily like, we're not always seen in this setting talking, you know what I'm saying? And we get to kind of have this moment, whereas if we collaborated on a track, like, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't get to know like, how deeply rooted your peeps were in like helping you get to where you are, or you know what I'm saying, your experience with basketball before getting to college, you know what I'm saying, and how we are connected, kind of in that space. So before we wrap, man, I do want to like jump into some like lighter topics, man, and see which get your opinion on some shit that's going on in the world. I noticed on your pod, you definitely hit on a few of those.
Definitely.
So one basic one, man, I like to start with, dude. I love to ask people what they're watching. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you're a TV show guy or a movie guy, Hulu, Netflix, HBO, Disney Plus, whatever you on. Like, what shows are you watching right now?
Right now, I'm definitely on the podcast tip. So I watch, as far as podcasting goes, I watch Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn this past weekend, and Andrew Schultz.
Okay.
Those are three basic ones I watch. As far as the TV shows, man, I love Stranger Things. I got to get on it. That the new season's out, so I'm definitely on that. And other than that, just anything basketball, anything sports.
That's final. So, all right, man. It's not over, and I'm definitely gonna drop this episode before the finals is over. So, you got any predictions?
Man, dude, honestly, bruh,
What Steph dropped 43 the other night? Sheesh.
43, man. Honestly, the Celtics are the safer pick because I think they're a better team.
They got the better unit.
But they got the better unit. But I do believe that this is Steph's moment. And I feel like this is a time for him to like get his finals MVP. So and it's crazy. He's kind of still underrated because he's in the LeBron era. So they're always going to compare to one another. I kind of want him to get that last ring. So like, there's no like, Steph got 4, LeBron got 4, you know what I mean? I kind of want it to be like that. So I'm going to go with Golden State. And I'm a Lakers fan too, so,
It's very hard. Yeah, it's very hard to root for Boston, bro.
Yeah, I mean, that green is just don't look right to me.
Yeah, nah. Too many battles, bro. Too many battles, and I feel you on that. I'm kind of in the same boat, bro. Like, don't got any necessarily no horses in the race, but like it'll be dope to see Steph be able to get that. All the slack that he took for KD coming over there and him not being that guy, and like the storyline shit. It's all political, so it's like with boxing, man. When you get all the belts, it's undisputed. You know what I'm saying? So it's not quite the same.
Shouts out Devin Haney.
Oh, Devin, yeah, man, that was amazing, bro. Just went out there, Australia, bro. Got to work, all the shit talking, all the antics.
All the shit talking, all the old email champ thing, all of that. Nope. Went over to Australia.
Right.
Man, lose
30,
around.
I don't know if that was facts, but I saw the post where he like only took like 30% of the purse, and George Kambosos got 70. You know what I'm saying? So just to go out there, take less, you know what I'm saying, have all the terms in the other guy's favor and still
Yeah,
win. Like, what he gave up
legacy.
1 or 2 rounds?
Yeah, legacy, bro. Legacy.
Yeah.
Because
And I
he's
was,
gonna get that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was dope seeing Tank too. Rolly was talking a lot of shit on that one too. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah, I
He
did.
said, I'm gonna
Did.
knock his ass out in 1 round.
Dude, he sounds so. He's got to get better at. You know, a lot of people try to be Floyd with the trash talking,
Yeah.
bro. But they got to get better at it. You
Yeah.
feel me? Like Rolly's trash talking was so like. There's so many videos where it's just like, what is this man even saying?
Saying no, for sure. Like, you could definitely cut a reel of just like the moments where the jokes either go over our head or
Yeah.
or
he
he's just in
sounded
his own
like
world.
he sounded like Mike Tyson trying to impersonate himself.
Right now, right, for sure, doing a bad job.
Yeah, doing a bad job.
While we on the boxing tip, man, do you watch a lot? Do you catch a
Yeah,
lot of fights?
love
What you
boxing.
thinking? Everybody hopeful for Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, man.
Dude, that's gonna be a monster fight. I can't wait for it. Terrence Crawford is a monster. The way he just switches up and just he'll put you in the matrix. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? But Earl Spence, man, he's a dog. Like he's just I feel like Earl Spence is just on another level. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah,
feel like I can't see anybody being Earl Spence, man.
yeah. That's gonna be an exciting one, man.
Yeah, I see Earl take some shots and like nothing, but like give them back and then they drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's not afraid to get hit. He's not afraid to do the hitting. That dude is cold. So I got my money on East Spence. You feel me?
Okay, okay. Yeah, no, I'm torn, bro. I'm torn. Like, definitely a huge Crawford fan, but I don't know if he got enough power in there to, you know what I'm saying? Because like I
Yeah,
said, I've watched some of Earl's fights, and it's you need a lot behind it to even get that man on the ground. So it's gonna be an interesting one, man.
can't wait, dude. Cannot wait. It'll be a good one.
Perfect, man. Well, nah, man, I want to thank you for taking the time out to hop on, bro.
No problem, man. Listen, I enjoy watching you do what you do. You know what I mean? Give you your flowers, man. You've been doing this for a while. You know what I mean? Like same here. So just keep at it, keep that content out, and before you know it, everybody's gonna discover their roots.
Yes,
You know.
sir. Yes, sir. Man, if you can too, drop your IG one more time, your YouTube. I'm gonna make sure to pop up some shit on the screen so folks are able to see the graphics.
Yes, sir. My you can find my music, RonGib, RonGib. It's on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, or just go next door. You know what I mean? You'll probably hear some RonGib. Yeah. The YouTube channel is RonGib as well, RonGib. I got my podcast popping, the Unreasonable Man, dropping every Tuesday. And also I'm gonna do little vlogs here and there, you know what I mean? So feel free to hit that subscribe button, follow the music, Instagram, Ron Gibb, bruh, RonGibBruh. Yeah, man, we just giving you dope content, giving you dope content, dope conversations, and helping to improve everybody's life.